Hi, Roger, Weathering Heights. This is the Velco Weather Hazards Outlook. This will be valid the rest of today, Friday, through next Thursday, March the 5th. We're looking at the coldest temperatures in the northern hemisphere up in the Siberia area of Northeast Asia, and this continues to cover the polar region across the Arctic Circle and the North Pole. And this cross-polar flow has been something fairly evident and continuing sort of in a large-scale weather pattern. However, this looks like it'll be eventually more directed more into the plains and eventually into the western areas, and allowing a little bit of a warm-up in some parts of the eastern seaboard in the coming days, this occurring next week, and we'll talk more about that when we get to it. We have cold but good project weather today, Friday. This will take place into all of Saturday into Saturday night and probably about midday on Sunday. A benign light snowfall will work on in, and this will come in on Sunday late in the afternoon into Sunday night and Monday. Little concern other than some travel issues with that. We're looking at, in general, about 1 to 4 inches of snowfall. There'll be a burst of northwesterly gradient winds we'll have to keep an eye on Monday afternoon into early Monday evening. This will be followed by another area of higher pressure. The small bubble will provide some decent project weather on Tuesday. Then low confidence on the next storm system. This will be an upcoming storm system with transitions of wet snow to potentially sleet, potentially some freezing rain and rain into the middle part of next week. We're talking mainly on Wednesday for this, but it could start as early as Tuesday night and last into the day on Thursday, and then it gets cold again along the back side of that system. Current conditions right now, you can see in Vermont we have pretty decent conditions across our neck of the woods here in northern New England. That is clear skies with an area of higher pressure building in. And this is also going to bring us a little bit of a warm-up. You might note that this transition of this area of higher pressure is coming in from slightly lower latitudes, and thus we're going to see a little bit better moderation, and temperatures actually get into the low 20s on Saturday, same kind of thing on Sunday, and into Monday. Well, might be knocking on the door of 30 degrees. Here's the daily issues surface map here. We're looking at high pressure about 1042 millibars beginning to work and slightly weaken just a bit as it heads east, and then it strengthens as it gets toward New York State at 1045, and then starts to weaken a little bit as it moves across New York and Pennsylvania at 1041. And once again, it's going to be associated with some cold nights here. You can see the slightly red-colored squiggles here. Those are temperatures, isothermal temperatures associated with 0 degrees. So another cold night, it looks like, into even Sunday morning. Thereafter, we're watching a streak of moisture that will develop from a storm in the plains. This will move across and try to phase with another weather system, an Arctic front, another sort of polar blast, and these two are going to be out of phase. So the fact that that is happening will weaken the system, and it will go through without not too much fanfare. And you can see it's generally light snowfall amounts. Again, we're looking at probably something like 1 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 inches at most. A little bit of a sharper gradient as this next area of higher pressure builds in. That'll take place on Monday afternoon into Monday evening. This is a little burst of wind that could exceed 40 miles per hour, especially along the spine of the Green Mountains and points to the east. We'll be watching that as well, and a heads up will be issued likely on that sometime over this weekend. Again, this wouldn't be till somewhere along about Monday afternoon. And then beyond that, we're looking at another area of higher pressure building in for some good project weather along about Tuesday. And then a little bit more in the way of the next weather system will start to evolve into one that's going to be a little bit more difficult to get into here. But it does look like this weather system has enough of a southerly push, as a lot of colder Arctic air will have moved into parts of the plains. We'll see some moisture work up, and you can see this slight blue line here that's associated with the 32-degree isotherm. So we're looking at temperatures that are going to bust 32 degrees, and that transition aloft means we're looking at sort of wet snow going into sleet, maybe some pockets of freezing rain, and then to rain very briefly as that 988 area of low pressure tracks a little bit to the north of us. Looks like this system will move in or move out of the region along about Thursday. So that's the main concern for utilities at this point, not really until sometime after Tuesday night into Wednesday, and Wednesday night into the morning hours on Thursday. Water Prediction Center, this is the 7-day total snowfall, excuse me, melted precipitation totals. Note the west is starting to get into the action here, and you're seeing the main storm track dropping the most precipitation from the Appalachians. It looks like the Tennessee Valley into the Middle Atlantic and Northeast coastal areas. We're going to be closer to some lighter precipitation here, of course, along the cold side of most of these storm systems. This is going to be good through, it looks like 12Z Friday, right into 12Z. That would be 7 o'clock on following Friday on March 6th. What about temperature? Well, what would you expect? Colder than normal, certainly across a wide area. Just along the Pacific coast of California, we're seeing temperatures above normal. A little bit in the Gulf Coast. Florida seems to be immune to this currently, as a little bit of a ridge of higher pressure will try to reinforce Florida from seeing these bouts of very cold air getting down into that location. But notice the coldest temperatures now, 24-degree anomaly. These are max temperatures during the day. That's very significant. Very cold weather along the plains, butted up against the Rocky Mountains. Not as cold here in the northeast United States, and that's going to be the trend. 3 days later, we're looking at still pretty cold weather, but a little bit more of a flattening out, less severe here, and it looks like even that colder weather penetrating to near normal along the California coast. And here's a mediagram. This will be centered on Bennington, Vermont, and will work north up the state. You can see temperatures, the max temperatures might hit 40 degrees this along about this following Wednesday afternoon, looks like Wednesday night into Thursday before an Arctic front takes that temperature downward. This is associated with the most snow, and just working our way up the state a little bit here. This is the look at Rutland, Montpelier, Burlington, and up to the north, Newport. We're all looking at temperatures trying to make a run above the freezing mark for a high temperature, looks like on Wednesday afternoon, staying below that point from thereafter. But you can see temperatures not severely cold the next couple of days, 0 to 15, 0 to 10. A little bit of a return here to Arctic cold as we get into the day on Tuesday morning, and then that more significant warm-up. And looking at the American models here, what you can see is overnight lows here, today's high 10 to 15, and tonight's lows, and then followed by a little bit of a step ladder. Warmest during the period Sunday into Monday with that weak storm system working on through, dropping a little bit of snow with no real issues for utilities. Then a slight cool down. We get into some colder weather, it looks like by Tuesday morning, echoing very much what the European model was showing. And then more significant snowfall here, and that transition, which could lead us to mixed precipitation types, and including some wet snow we'll have to keep a close eye on. That doesn't happen until, again, it looks like somewhere along about Tuesday night into the Wednesday night period, with the maximum temperatures occurring, it looks like, during the Wednesday night, potentially even Thursday morning period. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.